post, how do you feel like it went for you back there and just getting back to the spot?
I've been playing it for 3, 4 years, so it wasn't really nothing new. I had my time at nickel. Whatever coach wants me to play to help the team, I'm gonna do it. So whether it's nickel, free, going to play the strong side linebacker, I'm not linebacker, strong side safety, whereas they play. If he goes down anything, I'll do whatever. That's what being versatile does. So it doesn't really matter. Whatever you want me to play, I'll go play it.
Coach mentioned, maybe the group now kind of settling in with the change with Deuce going to nickel and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. People always talk about communication up front with the offensive line, but what's it like in the secondary?
It's basically the same thing, because we all whenever like the O line or the quarterback sees a overload to the left side over the left tackle, they got to change the front to like a 5-0 protection. All that stuff is same thing with the defense. Whenever it goes from 2-2 to motion to 3-1, the whole call can change. So whenever I'm communicating, I got to communicate to the linebackers, the Zay to the nickel. So it's basically the same thing. So communication, it helps you win the game. So if you communicate, then you're gonna get the job done.
With the injuries and the changes kind of like in the back seven, I guess, has that been something that's kind of been a work in progress this year?
Kinda, cause it's all about us. A lot of rotations, but during the week we try to get together and watch film together, so we know regardless of who's in, whenever we get this formation, whenever we get this type of play, whenever it's third down, first down, they finna run this type of play. We know that what we got to communicate to each other, who we got to look at, and we all gonna be on the same page when it comes.
And to go off that a little bit, it seemed like that back seven is the healthiest it's been since the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got 3 interceptions as a group last week. Does it feel like now you're able to pick up where you left off instead of trying to bring pieces back together?
Yeah, honestly, because at the beginning of the year it was a lot of rotation and going on with all the positions, but now that it's a lot of we're back to where we were at like spring and how fall camp started, so that's really really good right there. So
What have you seen from Stanford on films?
they run like a true, because Andrew Luck went there, he's back there too. I think GM or something like that. So they kind of run that little pro style, two max pro with 8 people, 2-man routes. So it's a kind of more like NFL style offenses. They run it like spread. They run pistol. That a whole lot of different formations and stuff. So but they also have a lot of key giveaways too. So as long as we lock in and be able to point out who's on the ball, who's in the game, we'll be able to know what's coming.
You guys played Stanford last year, but it seems like they've got a lot of new players across
Mm-hmm.
their team, new coach, obviously. Is that something where you're even able to look back at last year's game at all, or is that not really helpful?
You can always look back because teams are always gonna copy from other teams. So like last year, even though we had won, it was still some plays they probably got a good explosive play. So you always want to go back and look at what plays did we let, or what plays did we what defensive plays did they struggle against. So basically you could always go back and looking for good takeaways or bad takeaways. So I'm pretty sure they still looking back just like we looking back still.
How do you not let what's next week, affect you guys this week? How do you not look ahead?
It's really just tunnel vision, just keeping your eye on the prize, and that prize is whoever we whoever's coming to the Ford Stadium on Saturday. So, we got to take care of this one, and because next week don't matter if we don't get the job done this week. So once we get the job done this week, then we can put our eyes on next week.
This week's game was announced as a blackout. As a player, have you noticed any effects from either side participating in those kind of games?
I feel like I can speak for a lot of our players on this team. The black uniforms are always like those are our favorite uniforms. So just it's not really nothing different, but just the fact that we get to wear the uniforms that a lot of us been looking forward to. But it's not really different. It's really just another game, just in better uniforms.